Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Xano520, and welcome to Metroid Other M. We've got a bit of a cold open here, a la Super Mario Odyssey and Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. The game starts out here. We don't have a title screen at the moment. But this game was developed back in 2010 by Tecmo and Team Ninja. There was a bit of a meme going around at the time when it was revealed that the rights to Metroid were being given to Team Ninja based on their previous games. It was joked that there would be a lot of bikinis. It couldn't have been further from the truth. Metroid Other M is considered one of the worst games in the series, if not the worst, for a number of reasons, the least of which is one of the design choices that Team Ninja decided on, and that was to give Samus a voice. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with giving Samus a voice, but it's the personality that they gave her that brings up the issues. The other thing is that this game is very heavy on its cutscenes, especially in the beginning. So this first episode is going to be mostly cutscene and tutorial. Emphasis on the cutscene part. So let's get into this. We're going to have English as our language, and our subtitles will be on. Here we go.
Why am I still alive? A baby. Mother, time to go.
Now what we witnessed there is the 3D re-rendering of the ending of Super Metroid, where the baby Metroid sacrifices itself to save us from Mother Brain.
Samus. Everything's normal.
I awoke to the familiar voice of a quarantine officer.
Let's try sitting up, huh? Slowly now.
A dream. I had been reliving the tragic moments of my recent past. Thanks to the hyper beam, which was given to me somehow by the baby, I laid Mother Brain to waste. And the explosion that followed destroyed planet Zebes, along with the remains of Mother Brain, the space pirates, and my long-standing nemesis, Ridley, and the baby.
Come on, Samus. Let's go next door.
Right, let's get started.
Now, one big thing that was redesigned in this game, I don't think it's been made explicitly canon, is that Samus's power suit is made manifest by her willpower in this game. And cutscene, we're thrust right into a tutorial. Shows us the main controls. One is shoot. If Samus is facing the general correct direction where there's an enemy, she will auto-aim. As we are actually playing in a 3D space, but typically we only have the real 8 cardinal directions due to playing on D-pad. This is the second of 2 games that were developed specifically for the Wii, the other one being Metroid Prime 3. However, unlike Metroid Prime 3 or Metroid Prime, this game does not utilize the first-person Wii Remote nunchuck controls, and instead it utilizes just a sideways Wii Remote.
Let's invite some of your pals.
There's some rather interesting control choices going on here. Like this is relatively fine. The game plays well enough like this, but there's certain things like the missiles. It also introduces things like Sense Move. And there's nothing intrinsically wrong with Sense Move. It's basically just a way to bring more action into the game, and it allows you to dodge attacks. And if you happen to press 1 while you're dodging, you'll get a full charge instantly.
Next, how about a missile test?
Okay, here we go. The missiles
Concentration to replenish your missile supply.
and the concentration mechanic. The concentration mechanic enables you to recharge your missiles and some of your health. And the way you do this is that you lift up the Wii Remote, you point it upwards, and you hold A. And it'll recharge 1 energy tank and your missiles. But to actually use your missiles, you have to point the Wii Remote at the screen. You press and hold B to look around in first person, and then you lock on to whatever it is you need to shoot, and then press A to shoot a missile. This seems to be a holographic Zebesian space pirate.
Looks like you ticked him off. Yes is all you can say.
No, you don't. What you need to do, it also adds this weird finisher system where you jump on enemies' heads. There we go. Here's this section. Okay, so in order to use power bombs, you don't have ammo like you normally would. Instead, you hold the bomb button, it charges up, and then you drop the power bomb, it blows up, and you have a cooldown on your power bombs for a short amount of time. We're gonna get thrown into another cutscene here in a second. Inch along, doop, and cutscene.
Looks like you took quite a bit of damage. It's unbelievable how well you've held up.
I wondered if this too was a result of the power the baby gave me.
Right, you're due in the meeting room. The big dogs are waiting. I gave your suit a polish so you'd be at least somewhat presentable.
Not even a fragment. None of the baby remained on me. I knew it to be true, but still couldn't help looking at my palm for a sign. Never again would I encounter the baby. Never. The finality of it struck me once again. Mission completed. The planet Zebes was annihilated, and all Metroids were exterminated. A simple report, almost dull even, but it felt momentous to me. I don't know how much time passed since then. Days went by in their quiet way, and people's recollections of Metroids and space pirates grew nebulous over time, relegated to a past concern of the galactic communities. Nothing more than a faded memory. Codename Baby's Cry. A common SOS with the urgency of a baby crying. The nickname comes from the fact that the purpose of the signal is to draw attention. The signal was coming from a remote part of space. I altered the course of my ship as if this detour had already been part of my flight plan. Baby's Cry. It was as though it was crying specifically for me.
So to give a small recap of what's been going on here. So, Samus gave her announcement to the Galactic Federation that Zebes is gone, and that all the Metroids were exterminated. However, the narration here, it leaves a lot to be desired. I'm not entirely sure if this is a fault of the voice actor or the writer or a combination of the two. But Samus's character seems very flat compared to how you would expect it to be. But that's just the beginning of the problems. One of the big reasons people hate on this game so much is that Samus never really she never really shuts up about the baby. And, yes, this game is where that meme comes from. The whole baby thing comes from Other M. Unfortunately. So there's a number of mechanics that we haven't gotten into yet. They usually tie into the orientation of the Wii remote. And we're going to run into one here in a second. She's looking around and sees something over here. And we are thrust into first-person mode. This is what is known as investigation mode. You point the marker at the screen, you look around until you find exactly what the game wants you to look at. Like that. The Galactic Federation is here. So we are playing in a 3D space with a D-pad, as if it was a 2D world. For better or for worse. We don't have to shoot the doors to open them. But we're gonna run along here. 2 is jump, 1 is shoot, A is morph ball. I don't think B actually does anything. Anyway, we're in a cutscene here again. Come in here, and those are Galactic Federation troopers.
Fancy meeting you here, friend.
And we're gonna get introduced to the first of a character who apparently has ties to Samus. This is
There's
Anthony.
only one person who calls me princess. And that person is Anthony Higgs of the Galactic Federation Army.
Haven't seen you since that last mission. Hey, and your buddy's here too.
And here's the second one.
Adam Malkovich, a general in the Galactic Federation Army. Not only a trusted confidant, but also my former superior officer. Yes, there was a time when I was enrolled in the Galactic Federation Army. And then I was young and inexperienced. As the result of a certain incident, I left Adam's command and set out on my path as a solitary bounty hunter.
What are you doing here?
The first words out of his mouth were typical coming from Adam. To answer his question, I recounted the details of what had brought me to this place, and then I asked what circumstances led the Federation here.
That information is not for an outsider.
The word he so obviously chose, outsider, pierced my heart.
Commander, we're all prepped.
No dice.
I think our only option is to use the laser to slowly burn our way through. This is gonna take a while.
The electrical system here is out, and we can't get the barrier wall to open. We tried using explosives, but it's tricky to pull off without collateral damage. What we need is some way to focus the power onto one centralized location.
You mean like this? But we're going to run into another mechanic of this game that has drawn the ire of the community.
All right. I'm gonna go on ahead.
Adam hadn't authorized it, but I decided to remain on site for the sake of the others.
And there it is, the authorization system. Samus, canonically, has access to all of her powers from Super Metroid. The bombs, power bombs, all her beams, all her suits. But she refuses to use them until Adam Malkovich, her former commanding officer, authorizes their use. Also, we're going to get ambushed here by a bunch of Rios. At least I think that's what these are supposed to be. Where's that last one? There you are. Also, on the map, you may be able to notice there is something here. That blue dot is the sign that there is a power-up here. Also, this stupid door. Just gotta shoot it a bunch of times until it opens. Then we roll inside and jump up. Can't go through this door, but we can get rid of these gamers. Why are there gamers here? More Rios. But as I was saying, Samus has access to all of her weapons and suits and power-ups and all that kind of thing, but she refuses to use them until Adam Malkovich, her former commanding officer, actually authorizes their use. Which is why this game has drawn such ire, is because the idea of Samus, this all-powerful bounty hunter, is basically being subservient to her male counterpart. Also, these purple bugs running around. Also, funnily enough, you're unable to enter the men's room. As if anybody was actually using it. Run up here. This door is locked. Can't do anything over here, but we can use this terminal here if we walk up to it. Which is a bit of another problem this game seems to suffer from, and that is the idea of what the heck am I doing? Because there are moments in this game where you're going to encounter sections where it's going to be basically a puzzle to try and figure out what you're meant to do. And oftentimes, there's a time limit. Anyway, we're going to run through here. Take out these gamers. Run up the stairs. Take a left. Get rid of that. Jump up this. Ignore those. Just jump up this elevator shaft thing. Run along here. And run forward through this room. We're going to not save here yet. Oh. It's forcing me to save. These save stations, or navigation rooms as they're called in this game, will save your game. They will restore your energy, and they will enable you to receive information, which we'll find out why we'll be needing that here in a second, after this cutscene again. Something's watching us. What happened
He's
here?
Dead.
Yeah, no
Someone
kidding.
or something attacked him. Whoa.
It's moving. Oh, it's a purple bug.
Get away from me!
Okay, there. Trigger happy.
It was
Save some
obvious
ammo for
that
the
there
rest
was
of
some
us.
pervasive danger throughout the facility. I didn't know what had brought Adam here, but I did know that cooperation was imperative if we were to restore safety.
Adam, listen to me. Clearly, this facility is in complete disorder. It might be too dangerous for your men to go alone. That's why I've...
Purple bugs?
They're coming out of the wall! Right, stay calm.
Okay then. That's a thing. Bug monster. Alright, so what we're supposed to do here is enter first person mode. and dodge.
Good. Nothing's working. Listen up. Freeze guns authorized.
Adam's going to authorize them to use their freeze guns. Not us. Just them.
I'm authorizing missile use.
But he is giving us the right to use our missiles, which is something. Anyway, we can now use our missiles. That's the important part. Dodge this guy, and then shoot him in the eye.
Concentrate fire in a
The way you can use your...
Samus, you attack the frozen spot.
Yes, thank you, Commander. The way you can use your dodge ability while in first person is to wiggle the remote. What are you doing? There we go. Shoot him in the eye. Wait for them to freeze it. And then blast it with a missile. And now we've got just the body to deal with. He's gonna jump around. Need to shoot him in the eye again. And now we just need to deal with the actual bug. And all the purple bugs scatter.
Samus, looks like I'm gonna need to ask for your cooperation on this mission, but I'm also gonna have to ask that you follow my commands. You don't move unless I say so, and you don't fire until I say so. Any objections, lady?
The thumbs up sign had been used by the Galactic Federation for ages. Me? I was known for giving the thumbs down during briefing. I had my reasons, though. Commander Adam Malkovich was normally cool and not one to joke around. But he would end all of his mission briefings by saying, "Any objections, lady?" He was joking, but others weren't. At the time, I felt surrounded by people who treated me like a child, or used kid gloves because I was a woman. And yet with Adam, I was grateful for the nod. My past has left me with an uneasy soul, and as a result, it touched me on some level that Adam would acknowledge that past by calling me something delicate, like lady. And I knew more than anyone that every word from Adam was deliberate. My thumbs down was a twofold response. A sign of derision at being called a lady, and a signal of my complete understanding of the mission orders. The other soldiers were always willing to support me with easy smiles despite the fact that I clearly had so much yet to learn. Among them was Anthony. In the face of his well-meaning behavior and that of the other soldiers, my response was to become increasingly bitter. I was a child, always with something to prove, a chip on my shoulder. And I was angry. I felt that if I let my guard down, I would easily be broken. And beyond that, I was scared. But even in the naivete of my youth, I could see in Adam's joking manner how close he felt to me. Adam knows my past, and he knows me better than anyone else. Confession time. Because I was so young when I lost both of my parents, there's no question I saw Adam as a father figure. When I rebelled against him, I knew I could get away with it. and his paternal compassion in the face of my rebellion reinforced the special bond I felt with him. I understood well that chances were slim that I would ever find anyone that understood me like Adam. And yet, when the time came, I still left his side. I was so young. Young and naive.
Exactly what transpired here on the bottle ship is still uncertain. Here's what we do know. The equipment we thought had been destroyed is operational again. And we've seen casualties attributed to an unidentified and lethal creature. The situation is critical. We need to gather all the information we can, but priority one is to find any survivors and bring them to safety. Consider this site extremely dangerous. Be careful as you make your sweeps. And there's one problem. The wireless interference in this facility is all-pervasive. Your comm systems are useless. As a result, communication channels will be limited to the facility's navigation booths. Well then, Lyle, investigate Sector 1 and show a little restraint with the explosives.
Gotcha.
Maurice, you cover Sector 2. Repair any equipment you come across.
Affirmative.
Anthony, you're Sector 3. I'll leave it to you to decide whether plasma guns are called for.
All right.
James, check out the control bridge. Our communication issues might be the result of electrical interference.
Yes, sir.
And KG, run a complete sweep of the residential quarters and investigate any trace of survivors.
Got it.
Each of you is authorized to use a freeze gun. Do not forget to check in regularly via navigation booths. And Samus, you go to the system management room. Do everything you can to get the electrical system back up and running. Looks like your comm system is still functional. Remember, everything you see will also appear on this screen. Regarding auxiliary weapons, the use of bombs has been authorized. As far as your other weapons go, we will continue to investigate and authorize use as we can. However, we currently have no plans to authorize the use of power bombs. As you know, they have the ability to spread a high-temperature heat wave over a large area, impacting living things, which is a nice way of saying they can vaporize humans instantly. You should be well aware of how dangerous power bombs are, and how their devastation can't be obstructed with common materials. Once the mission in the system management room is complete, I need you to report back. I'll give you your next orders then. I want you all to be especially careful as you execute your missions. That's the end of the briefing.
It was the first joint mission I'd been a part of since becoming a freelance bounty hunter. And of course, it was the first time since my Federation days that I was following the orders of a commanding officer. Having received mission orders from Adam, I felt confused and strangely exhilarated at the unexpected turn of events. I responded.
Understood, Adam. No objections, of course.
So we have our mission objective. After that whole rundown, we've been authorized to use our bombs now. As silly as that sounds. But we are currently out of time, so we're going to run back to the beginning of this area, utilize this nav room to save our game, and next time on Metroid Other M, we will venture to this location here, near where we saw that power-up in a tube. We should be able to get that now. But anyway, this is Santa520, signing out.